Hello, Hugh here. I've been having so much fun putting together these video lesson tutorials that I thought I'd lend a hand to some of the members of the world-famous pianoworld.com forums. This is, as far as I know, one of the largest discussion boards for everything to do with pianos, from finding new instruments to getting them repaired, to advice on teaching methods and new student inquiries, repertoire things. It's an incredible world of some fascinating discussions every day, and so I encourage you, if you've never been to pianoworld.com, sign up. Registration is free, and become a member of the boards and come join in on the discussion. A lot of fun. It'll really inspire you if you're looking for help on enjoying your piano more. So anyway, I was browsing through the other day and I saw this interesting post from Dark Angel, who writes, "I must have gone crazy. I know I have, because it's been 10 years since I went anywhere near my piano, and then one day I decided I absolutely had to play Clair de Lune." I can't blame you. I've seen people with not much experience saying they managed to play it, but I am really having trouble with the left hand. Could you give me some hints? I am stuck in places like this. And then he goes ahead and posts a picture of the two measures that he's having difficulty with. Thanks in advance. P.S. And if you know the simplified version of Clair de Lune, please let me know. Maybe I should start from something easier. And he puts up a crazy face. Dark Angel, I don't know of an easier arrangement. I think there are some things out there. I've actually seen some YouTube videos with some simplified tutorials, but let's give the real version a try. I think if you see that we break it down far enough, it may not be as bad as you think. So anyway, let me go ahead and quickly carve out the measures. Before I carve out the measures in question, let me just play it all a little bit in context. These are the two measures that he's having problems with right here. But let me just go ahead and kind of play it from here, just so you can hear it in musical context. So you have this tied note, eighth note here, and it sounds like this. So on and so forth. But anyway, let's go ahead and focus right on Dark Angel's problem spot. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of clean this up a little bit, and then we'll move this over to a cleaner area where we can focus on the problem spots there. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to snip those two measures out, like so. Copy that. Paste that over here. Gives me a chance to really focus on this. Okay, so let's focus on the first measure and getting those two portions together. Okay, basically we have our two different intervals. We have a fifth, 1, 5, and 1 there, and then we have an octave chord. So perhaps the best way to start would be to think along those lines. Think of this as a fifth. And then think of look at the top note, look at the bottom note, that's an octave there. So think of that octave first in context, and perhaps practice opening up your hand from those two black keys here to that octave opening, okay? So when you get comfortable, perhaps putting that together, then you perhaps want to try putting in the other two notes, which are right over here. The bottom, see the three black keys here? The bottom and then the top, and put all together. So basically, if your right damper pedal is down, you shouldn't have to worry about holding too long on the bottom note. The pedal will hold the sound for you. Okay, so practice that. Now, what I suspect is giving Dark Angel some real problems is this next portion over here. This is a little tricky. So I think what's happening is it's a little bit of confusion. What do I do? Do I move my whole hand? Do this? What do I do? So what I recommend is to think of these two as one chord to begin with. Okay? We're going to put this together like this. As if your hand is large enough to reach that, more power to you. Mine isn't. But I use a fifth finger down here, and then a 1, 2 over here. See that? I just kind of aim for here to here. And then I think of this as just just jump up to that. 1, 2, 3. I use those 3 fingers for this. Now, let me break it down a little bit. What I would recommend doing, if you'd like, to make it a little bit easier, let's take it apart a little bit. Bottom note, top note, top note first, okay? If you're practicing your left hand alone, what I'd like you to think about first are the 5th finger, top of the next one, and then the top of the next set. If you have your thumb in place, your thumb is a very powerful kind of a guiding system. So if you know where your thumb goes, it's going to be a lot easier to put in the rest of the chords, okay? So let's now, after you practice that a couple of times, you might even want to go so far as to add it with the right hand. So try that. Okay? The next step I would do would be to add the 2nd finger, but only the 2nd finger. So in other words, I'd add the 2nd finger down here. Now the 2nd finger here. So notice I'm leaving off the bottom note over here. See that? In fact, if you want to, just for practice, just to feel the relationship between this interval and that interval, this is a diminished 5th, this is a major 3rd. Again, using your thumb as a guide, try going back and forth there a couple of times. Try that again with the right hand. Okay, see if that helps. And then the last step, of course, would be to add in the 3rd note. Again, I think if you're patient and just take things a little bit at a time, you'll find that things will come together. Make sure you get out of the way, because the F over here is shared by this F over here. Besides this tied, you can come off a little bit early if you want. Just make sure you're coming off before this note comes down. Okay, so one more time. Watch my hands. Get out of the way. The pedal can actually stay down for that whole measure if you like. Okay? So let me play these 2 measures again in context. Okay, here we go. So I hope that helps. Dark Angel, if you have any more questions, let me know. And listen, if there is enough feedback on the board and if there's enough interest out there, I'd be willing to consider teaching the whole Debussy Clair de Lune if you like, and kind of going measure by measure. Let me know what you think, and if there's enough people out there that are interested, I'll give it a crack. Okay, I hope you had fun with this little lesson. Dark Angel, I hope this helps you out. Okay, good luck, and remember, don't forget to have fun.